Along a quiet stretch of old Route 66 stood a tired little diner, flickering under a buzzing neon sign. It was called Hank's Highway Diner. Once upon a time, it was full of life, a stop for travelers chasing dreams across America. But times changed, the crowds faded, and now, the only sounds were the creak of empty booths and the distant hum of forgotten stories. Maggie Sanders knew the diner better than she knew herself. She had grown up here, laughing at the counter, learning to cook in the tiny kitchen, and listening to her grandfather Hank tell stories of a golden past. But now, the past felt more like a ghost. The bills piled up. The ovens barely worked. The customers stopped coming. And Maggie stayed, trying to keep the heartbeat of the diner alive, even when it felt like no one else remembered. One lonely evening, while wiping the counter for the 100th time, Maggie noticed something odd. A small latch hidden under the counter. Curious. She tugged it open. Out slid an old hidden drawer. Inside, wrapped in oilcloth, aged by time, was a small leather notebook. It smelled of coffee, dust, and something more. Home. Inside were handwritten recipes, notes, little messages from her grandfather, Hank. At the very center of the book, underlined twice, was something she thought was lost forever: the heart of Hank's pie. It was the pie that once drew crowds from miles away. A pie so full of flavor, it wasn't just dessert, it was a memory. That night, under the hum of tired lights and the whisper of old dreams, Maggie baked. She measured carefully. She stirred with hope. She followed every loving note her grandfather had left behind. And when the pie emerged from the oven, golden, warm, smelling like home and summer and family, Maggie knew. She knew things were about to change. The next morning, she tore up the old menu. She threw out the frozen meals and replaced them with the old recipes made with patience, heart, and tradition. She posted a simple message online: "Old recipes, new memories. Come taste the heart of Hank's." At first, she waited in silence, but then they came. Truckers, travel bloggers, families, hungry not just for food, but for something real. The diner filled with laughter again, the clink of silverware, the smell of fresh pies and sizzling bacon. Old friends reunited. Strangers became neighbors. The diner wasn't just alive, it was thriving. And Maggie, she worked harder than she ever had, but she smiled every step of the way. Because every plate she served was a memory rebuilt. Every slice of pie was a piece of her grandfather's love. People asked her, what changed? Maggie would only smile and say, "It's an old family secret." But deep down, she knew. It wasn't just the recipes, it was the heart behind them. The patience, the love, the care. She realized then, her grandfather hadn't left her money. He hadn't left fame. He had left something much greater, a legacy, a reminder that heritage and heart are worth far more than any fortune. And some lessons, once learned, become part of your soul forever. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. More inspiring tales are coming your way.